Welcome to Warhammer Warscroll Review. Today we'll be taking an in-depth look at the Seraphon Warscroll, Saurus Guard. Please comment below with requests with any other Warscrolls you'd like to see reviewed. Warscroll Review. So, to start, the Saurus Guard have a 5-inch move, 4 up save, 10 bravery, and 1 wound. Just about probably what you're expecting from them. 10 bravery is always pretty good, but I think that's a constant on all demon keyword Warscrolls, I think. I know it's on Seraphon. 2 melee weapons, the Celestite Polearm, which is 1 inch attack range, 2 attacks, 3 up to hit, 3 up to wound, -1 rend, and 1 damage. And then they have an extra little attack with the jaws and shields, 1 inch, 1 attack, 5 up to hit, 4 up to wound, no rend, 1 damage. So most of the damage is coming from the polearm, obviously. They have a command unit. The alpha gets an extra attack with the polearm. That's pretty cool. The standard enemy units within 5 inches add 1 to their battle shock result, which is a pretty cool little gimmick. I don't know how often it comes into play, but it's neat. The war drum is probably the thing you're going to be using most. Lets you, instead of charging or running, you get to just double your movement, so you're just moving 10 inches, basically a march from old fantasy. And that's pretty good at getting your unit up the field a little bit faster. Now their Star Drake shields are pretty awesome. It's pretty universal to a lot of Seraphon units, infantry at least. They ignore -1 rend. That's pretty solid. But where the Saurus Guard really shine is the Sworn Guardians rule. When they're within 8 inches of a Seraphon hero, they can add 2 to their bravery and 1 to their save, which kind of segues pretty well into what kind of combos I'd like to talk about with the Saurus Guard. First of all, I don't know that I would use them if it weren't for the Eternal Star Host. So the Eternal Star Host is 1 Eternity Warden and 3 units of Saurus Guard. And when the Saurus Guard are within 10 inches of the Eternity Warden, they get +1 to their save. And then the Eternity Warden also has, within 5 inches, they get +1 attack. So to recoup what all that is, you got within 5 inches of 1 Eternity Warden, Saurus Guard have +1 attack, +2 bravery, and +2 to their save, giving them bravery 12, okay, and a 2-up save that ignores Rend 1. That's kind of where you're going with these guys. Is obviously they are basically an anchor. They can tank a lot of damage, and they can deal out an okay amount of damage, but that's pretty neat for a battle line unit. They're 100 points, and they max out at 20 models. So, and each Warscroll is 100 points for 5 models. Max out at 20 models, which is 400 points. So, I mean, that could be some investment of points. You're probably not using them if you want to min-max on battle line, because skinks are 80 points. They're kind of better. So you probably have some kind of goal if you're going to be using the Saurus Guard. So I mean, you might be using all 20 of them. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's some reasons. If you're going the tank role, which is probably what most people are going to do with the Saurus Guard, you're almost always going to want a skink priest in there, in addition to the Eternal Star Host. But then again, I'm not sure what Seraphon army doesn't take a skink priest or 2, probably. Some ways to add some damage to these guys: you could give them an Astrolith banner, or put one near them, obviously. Make them reroll those hits. That's okay. Sunblood can also do about the same thing. Just pick one Saurus Guard unit and go to town, reroll the hits. Old Blood on Carnosaur is kind of an idea too, but I think I would probably give that to a giant unit of Saurus Warriors before a Guard, just because it's more attacks, and that's kind of where that ability shines. What this unit would be going after, like the preferred targets, I don't know that it has really preferred targets as opposed to things they want to avoid. So they hate mortal wounds. Obviously 100 points for 5 wounds is pushing it. It's probably at the top of how much you're going to pay for 5 wounds. The infantry wise, those mortal wounds, they're just killers. Rend 1 enemies and models with no rend, that's awesome. You get probably a 2-up save, maybe re-rolling. Yeah, that's pretty durable. But every mistake you make, every one of those ones is a kick in the nads. It's just big deal every time. So obviously the way to beat these guys is mortal wounds. I don't know how many times I can say that. Seraphon armies in general don't really like the taste of mortal wounds. They don't like dishing them out too much either. They just don't like it. It doesn't taste good in their mouth. So that's how you kill Saurus Guard, but they're not that tough if you get into run into them. I mean, I guess you don't want to get in a head-to-head fight with 2-up rerollable unit if you don't have any Ren 2 models. That's kind of, it's not that fun. Anyway, so I think I'd give the Saurus Guard a 3 out of 5. I think is what I'm gonna go with, because they're still a solid unit. They're not extremely points efficient, but they still get the job done. What do you all think about the Saurus Guard? Anyone else use them differently? Other than that, please comment below with any war scrolls you may be having trouble using or beating. Thank you for listening.